Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Please join us in singing. Let's welcome Shabbat as a community. Even though we're far apart and at home, it doesn't mean we have to be totally separate. We are together through the magic of cyberspace and the wonderful technology that's created for this moment in time. Let us sing. To our very first live stream service here at Temple Israel. This is the first time that we've done anything like this. It's new technology for us, so please be patient. We hope everything goes as planned. There might be a few glitches along the way, but we are learning our way through this, and I hope it all goes smoothly. I'm here with Lindy and with Beth on the clarinet and the flute, and Karma and Steve, and Leslie Weiss, our temple president, is on the other side of the camera there, and her son Gabe also. And we thank Gabe ahead of time for helping us with this technology and getting it all set up for this evening. It's an understatement to say that these are trying times for all of us. Our lives have been disruptive in so many ways. For many, the kids are at home. For others, we're alone at home, we're isolated, we're shut in all through this time, and we can't go out except to do the essential activities. And we're asked to practice social distancing, a brand new term. Whoever heard of that before 2 or 3 weeks ago? And yet today it rolls off our tongues like we've been saying it for years, and we understand what it means. I think, and I've said it before, that it's really a misnomer, because what is being asked of us is not social distancing, it's physical distancing. We need to be apart from one another to protect one another's health. That's what this is all about. And the social distancing, that's not what we need now, just the opposite. We need socially to be connected with one another. We need socially to reach out to our friends and our neighbors, our fellow congregants, check in, see how everyone is doing, lovingly support one another. That's how we're going to get through this thing. Not by distancing socially, but by coming even closer together. So since we can't meet this week or for several weeks to come in the sanctuary, this is the next best thing. It's not the same as sitting together. It's not as warm as being able to reach out and to connect and to give a hug and to say Shabbat Shalom to one another. But nonetheless, we are together in this way, and I think it can be a new but very special experience for us. In a few moments, we're going to light the candles for Shabbat. Some of you might have already lit the candles at home. If you haven't, and if you have candlesticks nearby, maybe you want to go and grab them so that you can light Shabbat candles when we do. We're going to give you a few moments to do that by singing a beautiful song about lighting the lights of Shabbat.
Gracious to the ones I love. mark the beginning of the sacred time, Shabbat, the day of rest, we pause and remind ourselves of the beauty of the world, of the loved ones that support us, of the blessings that fill us. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu le'adlik ner, shel Shabbat.
Yes, there is fear. Yes, there is isolation. Yes, there is panic buying. Yes, there is sickness. Yes, there is even death. But they say that in Wuhan, after so many years of noise, you can hear the birds sing again. They say that in the streets of Assisi, people are singing to each other across the empty squares, keeping their windows open so that those who are alone may hear the sounds of family around them. They say that at a hotel in West Ireland, it's offering free meals and delivery to the housebound. Today, a young woman I know is busy spreading flyers with her phone number throughout her neighborhood so that the elders may have someone to call on. All over the world, people are slowing down and reflecting. All over the world, people are looking at their neighbors in a new way. All over the world, people are waking up to a new reality, to how big we really are, to how little control we really have, to what really matters, to love. So we pray and we remember that yes, there is fear, but there doesn't have to be hate. Yes, there is isolation, but there doesn't have to be loneliness. Yes, there is panic buying, but there doesn't have to be greed. Yes, there is sickness, but there doesn't have to be disease of the soul. Yes, there is even death, but there can always be a rebirth of love. Wake up to the choices you make as to how to live right now, today. Breathe. Listen behind the factory noises of your panic. The birds are singing, the sky is clearing, and we are surrounded by love. Open the window of your soul, and though you may not be able to touch across the empty square, you can sing, you can pray, and you can be fully awake.
I don't know what it feels like to be at home, or what it might feel like to stand for the prayers. And I urge you to do whatever feels right and whatever is comfortable for you. If you're able and if you would like, we're going to rise now as we join together in Baruch.
My
let us continue together with the Via Mapta. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levacha v'chol nafshecha uv'chol pe'odecha v'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinatam levanecha v'dibartam v'shiftecha v'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shokmecha uv'fumecha uv'shartam le'o al yadecha v'hayu letosafos beinenecha uv'taftam al mezuzot beitecha uv'isharecha v'man tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim le'Elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim L'hiot lachem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu, shelter us beneath your wings. Shelter. It has a whole new meaning this Shabbat, and a new phrase has entered our vocabulary, shelter in place. I hear these words and I am reminded that one of God's many names is Hamakom, which simply means the place. Hamakom is the name we generally use when people are in distress. We say to the mourner, Hamakom Yenafem, and we say to the sick, Hamakom Yishlach Refuah Shlema. Hamakom is in each and every place. Hamakom is with us wherever we are, physically or emotionally or spiritually. Hamakom surrounds and embraces every person. Hamakom, the place. Shelter us.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu
Once again, those who are comfortable, rising at home, we now stand as we join together in the chanting of the Amidah. Take a few quiet moments so that each of us might reach inside to find the prayers that come from our own hearts and from our own minds. And maybe close your eyes and visualize that sukkah, that tabernacle, that shelter of peace. Maybe it's not a physical building, although we do feel safe, I hope, snug in our homes this evening. But maybe a safe place, a place that makes you feel good, a place that fills you with thoughts of peace.
Sukkot Shalom, Shalom Aleinu Me'al Amo Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukkot shalom, shalom aleinu me'al kol amo Yisrael. Ve'al Yerushalayim, ve'al kol amo. Ve'al Yerushalayim, shalom. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukkot shalom, shalom aleinu me'al kol amo
Thank you, Lindy. And thank you, Steve. And thank you, Beth. That is just what I needed today. To be perfectly honest, my nerves have been on end today anticipating this evening. It's funny, I mean, how many services have I led? How many times have we been together leading services, and yet it was a little different thinking about just singing and praying and speaking to a camera and otherwise an empty room. It's a new experience, but hearing that beautiful music totally has calmed my nerves and taken me to a very special place, and I hope that it had that same effect for you as well. Kol haolam kulo Gesher tsar me'od, Gesher tsar me'od, Gesher tsar me'od. Kol ha'olam kulo, Gesher tsar me'od, Gesher tsar me'od. Reb Nachman of Bratslav wrote, Kol ha'olam kulo gesher tsar ma'od. The whole world is a very narrow bridge. V'ha'ikar lo lefached klal. And the most important thing is not to be afraid. I think these words bring sage advice for the difficult times we face today, because there is so much fear and so much confusion and even panic that we see, and for a good reason. These are scary times. But I think fear sometimes gets ahead of us, and it creates bigger problems. It spreads faster than the virus, and it robs us of the ability sometimes to think clearly. It heightens our anxiety in unhealthy ways, and it causes some people to do totally irrational things, like buying every roll of toilet paper and every bottle of water that they can get their hands on. And that fear, that panic, even more than the coronavirus, it tears away at the very fabric of our society and becomes an even bigger threat, I think, to our safety and well-being. So we have to take a deep breath. We have to take a few steps back and regain our composure. We have to try our best to keep things in perspective. You know, it might feel like the whole world is falling apart, but it isn't. And it's not the first time that we've been challenged. And we found our way to get through those challenges. We will this time as well. The most important thing is not to be afraid. Our Torah portion this week is a double portion called Vayakel Pikudei. The name of the first portion, Vayakel, shares the same root with the word Kihila, which means community. You have heard me say that word literally hundreds, if not thousands of times at the beginning of each of our services when I remind you that we are a Kihila Kedoshah. We are a holy community. But with the current crisis, we come to realize that the whole world really is a Kihila. The whole world is a community. Because the virus knows no borders. It doesn't need a passport to travel from one continent or one country to another. And thanks to the world we have created with air travel and international commerce, it very quickly has spread all around the world. It is not the Chinese virus. It's called the coronavirus, or if you want to be more technical, COVID-19. And it potentially infects every human being, regardless of race or ethnicity or religion. We are all in this together. And how we respond, and what we do or what we don't, will largely affect the outcome. So we have to ask ourselves an important question. We have to ask ourselves, to what extent do you take care of you and yours, your own family circle? And to what extent do you do your part to take care of society? When you go to Costco or to the grocery store to buy food and to stock up on toilet paper, will you be one of those people who buys every roll in sight? Or will you leave something for the next shopper looking to provide for her family? Will you heed the warnings and the pleadings of local, state, and federal officials to keep a distance from one another? Or will you go out recklessly, maybe sit on a beach, as so many young people did in droves for spring break? Will you hunker down and only take care of yourself and your own needs? Or will you do what you can to help others, even if that just means making phone calls and letting so many in isolation know that while they might be alone in their physical space, they are not alone. There are those who care about them and thinking about them. It is the answer to these questions that will determine the quality of our society. It is the answer to these questions that will determine if we are going to fall apart or if we are going to come together and save the world as we know it. Now, some might call me naive, but I have great hope in humanity. I truly believe that there are more good people out there who will do the right thing and who will extend a hand to help others. I'm seeing it here in our temple community, and I'm hearing it in good stories from all around the world. So let's all strive, you and me, to be one of those good people. Let's come together in greater ways than we have ever before to be a part of the solution. I'll end with another powerful quote from Reb Nachum of Wrocław that feels like it was written for this moment. he said, "Let the good in me connect with the good in others until all the world is transformed through the compelling power of love." Kenyi Hiratson. May it be God's will.
Amen.
Amen. At each of our services, we always take a moment to say special blessings, and especially blessings for our good friends and our family members who are ailing, whose health is compromised, who are alone and isolated, who need whatever help and whatever strength that we can bring to them with our phone calls, with a meal, with an expression of love and support, and those who need our prayers for a refuah shlema, for a full and speedy healing. This week we are praying especially for our friends Diane Dakin, Patty Sines, Sally Glick, Rebecca Decker, Betty Morgan, Sidra Goldsmith, Ron and Margaret Ray, Gabrielle Lopez Smith, Les and Lisa Vogel, Lynn Martucci, Samantha Porteous, Craig Corin, Ephraim Daniels, Randy Watkins, Ken Hall, Paul Fairbrook, Nathan Rodriguez, Ira Abramson, Jim Hawk, and Judy Weibel. And I invite you to say aloud the names of your friends and your family members for whom you want to pray this evening the Misha Bera prayer for healing. Take a moment to do that. And now let us join together in Misha Bera. To those names mentioned aloud, all those whose lives have been altered by the coronavirus, those who are suffering, and those who struggle to care for those who are suffering. And all of us need prayers this week and going through this difficult time for extra strength and healing. Healing of body, healing of mind, and healing of spirit. Baruch atah Adonai Rofeh HaCholim, blessed are you, O God, who heals the sick.
Amen.
Let us rise for Elena.
Aleinu l'shabeach Adon HaKol, Laseit Gedulah Liyotzeh Breshis, Shelo asanu kidoye ha'aretz, Lifnei Melech Malkei Hamlakim HaKadosh Baruch Hu V'ne'emar V'chaya Adonai Lemelech B'chol ha'aretz Bayom ha'hu Yeh Adonai echad U'shemo echad.
And at the end of each of our services, we take a quiet and reverent moment to remember our loved ones who are no longer with us physically, but who we carry in our hearts and in our minds. And so in a very real way, they continue to bless and they continue to carry us. If anyone has a loved one who has passed in the last 7 days, and you are in this first period of Shiva, I invite you to say their names aloud. If you are in the Shloshim, the 30-day period of mourning, I invite you to say their names aloud. And if you are in the Shana, the first year of mourning, and we have a few names that we know about, and I invite you to text or to call or to send an email to the office so we can include those names in the weeks to come. We remember these loved ones who are in the period of Shana: Joe Delgado, Richard Ripkin, Florence Wasdorf, Clay Utterback, Jerry Yeses, and Linda Sue Morgan Ray. Zichronam Livracha, may their memories be a blessing. The following names are the names of those who have a yortzeit, the anniversary of their death sometime in the week ahead. We remember with love Nettie Hersberg, Raymond Lopez, John Greer, Dubrin Hersberg, Sigmund Oppenheimer, Laura Freiberger, Robert Bell, Howard Cohen, Helene Heiser, Werner Meyer, Joel Clare, and Miriam Jacobs. If you are observing yortzeit this week, I invite you to say the name of your loved one aloud. Zichronam Livracha, may all their memories be for an everlasting source of strength and blessing. And we as a Kehillah remember the 6 million who perished in the Holocaust, so many leaving no one to remember them. We take them into our hearts along with our own loved ones who have died. And we now rise as we recite together Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yamad divrah chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon, u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lomei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramram v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal shemei d'kudsha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran v'yoma v'imru amen. Yehei Shama Rabba min Shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Osei shalom v'rumah, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved, and let us say,
Amen.
And let us end on a note of peace as we sing O Say Shalom. May the one who makes peace in the high places make peace right here on earth for all of us and for all humanity.
O say
and a wonderful Shabbat.